Good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilji taking you through the top stories from India and across the world. Let's start with the headlines. The suspense ends over BJP's choice for the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. MLAs elect Yogi Adityanath as their leader, swearing in to be held in Lucknow tomorrow. Trivendra Singh Rawat is sworn in as the 8th Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Satpal Maharaj and Harak Singh Rawat are among 9 ministers who also take oath. Chief Justice of India, Justice J.S. Kehar, questions the judicial system of the country, highlights irregularities in the system that need to be urgently addressed to ensure justice for all. And differences between US President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Angela Merkel take center stage at their first meeting at the White House. Leaders try to find common ground on a host of thorny issues. Top story this evening, the Uttar Pradesh BJP legislature party meeting today elected Yogi Adityanath as its leader. He will be sworn in as the new Chief Minister of the state tomorrow. The 6-time MP from Gorakhpur, Adityanath, will head a BJP government in the state after nearly 15 years. Let's take a look at the events as they unfolded during the day.
Celebrations in Lucknow as the BJP brought down the curtains on the party's choice for the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh on Saturday. Newly elected BJP legislators named Yogi Adityanath as their candidate for the post at a meeting in Lucknow. The development comes a week after the BJP stormed to power in the state, winning 312 of the 403 assembly seats.
हमारा जो पार्टी का विधि विधान है उसके अनुसार पूछा, योगी जी का नाम आया और किसी का कोई प्रस्तावना है ऐसा भी पूछा मैंने, कारण क्या है मेरा दायित्व है, मगर उतना भी लोगों ने मौका नहीं दिया। जब लोगों ने सुना योगी जी का नाम का प्रस्तावना, सभी खड़े होके एक मत से सबने कहा हम सब ये प्रस्तावना को समर्थन कर रहे हैं।
Adityanath's name was proposed by BJP leader Suresh Khanna and was supported by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu. Naidu said the new Chief Minister will take the oath of office at 2:15 p.m. on Sunday.
मेरे सामने उत्तर प्रदेश में जो चुनौती है वह आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के सबका साथ सबके विकास के इस स्लोगन के साथ उत्तर प्रदेश में विकास और सुशासन की स्थापना करने में हम सफल होंगे।
Congratulatory messages poured in for the 44-year-old Adityanath, a 6-time MP from Gorakhpur, who pipped many front-runners for the office. Among them were Union Minister Manoj Sinha and State BJP Chief Keshav Prasad Maurya. Maurya and senior BJP MLA Dinesh Sharma will be Adityanath's deputies.
बिल्कुल, हम सब लोग, मैंने बार बार इस बात को कहा है कि हम लोग सबका साथ सबका विकास की बात करते हुए हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे, उत्तर प्रदेश को सर्वोत्तम प्रदेश बनाएंगे और भौतिक विधानमंडल में भी एक यंग लीडरशिप हम सब लोगों को मिली है और उनके नेतृत्व में हमारा उत्तर प्रदेश विकास के रास्ते पर आगे बढ़ेगा।
देखिए, ये विकास का एजेंडा और विकास का एजेंडा ही चलेगा।
2 उप मुख्यमंत्री
तो अच्छी बात है, अच्छी बात है।
Earlier, suspense mounted over the Chief Minister's name till late in the evening. Central Observer Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu dismissed as speculative names that were doing the rounds for the post. Many of these leaders also dismissed such talks. The BJP is forming government in the politically crucial state after a gap of 15 years. The party secured 312 seats in the 403 Assembly House, while its allies Apna Dal and Suhel Dev Bharatiya Samaj Party got 9 and 4 seats respectively. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And in Uttarakhand, Trivendra Singh Rawat became the Chief Minister of the state today. The swearing-in, which was held at Dehradun's parade ground, was attended by the Prime Minister. Here are all the details.
Trivendra Singh Rawat was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand on Saturday. Governor K.K. Paul administered the oath of office and secrecy to Rawat and 9 ministers, including Satpal Maharaj and Harak Singh Rawat, in Dehradun. The swearing-in was attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP chief Amit Shah and other national and state party leaders. Before the swearing-in, Rawat promised to work for the development of the state.
वैसे मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि हमारे आंदोलनकारियों ने जो त्याग, जो अपना बलिदान दिया, हम उसके अनुकूल इस राज्य के निर्माण की अपनी ओर से भरपूर कोशिश करेंगे, उनकी आकांक्षाओं का राज्य बनाएंगे।
हमें खुशी है कि जिन मुद्दों को लेकर हम जनता के बीच में गए थे, कांग्रेस सरकार की हमने खिलाफत की थी, जनता ने हमारे उन मुद्दों को भरोसा किया, हमारी बात को सच माना। अति विश्वास जनता का हमारे ऊपर है, तो निश्चित रूप से उस विश्वास को, उस अति विश्वास की, जनता के अति विश्वास को कायम रखना हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है।
A former RSS activist for nearly 20 years, Rawat won the Doiwala Assembly seat for the third time in the recently concluded state assembly elections. He was also in charge of BJP's Jharkhand unit and is considered close to party president Amit Shah. BJP scored a massive victory in the assembly elections in the state, winning 57 of the 70 seats. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, Chief Justice of India, Justice J.S. Kher, today questioned the judicial system of the country while pointing out the irregularities that have crept in the system. Speaking at an event in New Delhi, the Chief Justice spoke about the ability of criminals to overturn the system and evade justice by using wealth, political clout and fear. Concerned about the victims in bomb blasts, acid attacks and rape cases, the Chief Justice appealed to legal service authorities and lawyers to reach out to the victims.
Ours is a strange country. The bigger the criminal, the bigger the outreach. I haven't seen ever before that a convict in a terrorist crime who has failed up to the Supreme Court and also in his review can get access to justice in the manner that we extend it. But I have wondered over the years, what about the victim?
The Punjab cabinet on Saturday decided to get rid of VIP culture. In his first cabinet meeting, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh announced the removal of all beacon lights from vehicles of ministers, MLAs and bureaucrats across the state with immediate effect. The decision is in line with the party's manifesto. The cabinet also decided that the first session of the 15th Punjab Vidhan Sabha will be held from the 24th of March. Amrinder Singh became Punjab Chief Minister on Thursday after the Congress swept the state assembly elections, winning 77 in the 117-member House. Two Indian clerics, including the head cleric of Delhi's Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah and his nephew, who went missing in Pakistan, are in custody of Pakistan's intelligence agency. Official sources reveal that the two have been detained over their alleged links with the Muttahida Qawmi movement of Altaf Hussain. Sources said that Syed Asif Nizami and his nephew Nazim Nizami were offloaded from Karachi-bound Shaheen Airlines on the 14th of March at the Allama Iqbal International Airport in Lahore and were taken to an undisclosed location for investigation. The clerics will be freed if nothing is established against them, say the sources. On Friday, Pakistan had conveyed to India that it was seriously pursuing with its law enforcement agencies the case of two missing Indian clerics. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj had said that the Indian government has taken up the matter with Pakistan. The two had gone to visit the famous Data Darbar shrine in Lahore and were to catch a flight to Karachi on Wednesday. The clerics had gone to Karachi to meet their relatives on the 8th of March before travelling to Lahore to visit the shrine. And here are more national news updates in Nationwide. Two low-intensity explosions occurred in Agra Cant railway station's vicinity on Saturday morning. The explosions came just hours after the Andaman Express crashed into a huge boulder on the tracks near another station 20 kilometers away, and police recovered a note at the site threatening of terror attacks. No one was injured in the two incidents. A day after separatists asked voters not to participate in the by-polls to Srinagar and Anantnag parliamentary constituencies, JKLF chief Mohammad Yasin Malik was arrested on Saturday. JKLF activists and hardline Hurriyat leaders had on Friday started a joint election boycott campaign holding a protest rally in Srinagar. The by-polls to Srinagar and Anantnag parliamentary constituencies are slated for the 9th of April and 12th of April respectively. Monday may prove to be difficult for office goers in the National Capital Region as the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, or the DMRC, has decided to shut all stations outside the city from Sunday night until further orders. The move comes with Jats threatening to intensify their protest on Monday to demand reservation in jobs and education. Delhi police has asked the DMRC to terminate all trains at the last station on all lines in Delhi from 11:30 p.m. on Sunday. Apart from 22 stations in NCR, 12 stations in central Delhi will be closed from 8 p.m. on Sunday night. With that, a quick break here. Up next, we're getting all the international and sports news. Stay with us.
Here also we use the isotope technique to understand the source of water. So using the isotopic value, we can actually separate out how much rain you have got from the Bay of Bengal source, how much water you have got from the Arabian Sea, and how much water during the rainfall you have got from the recycling of the inland moisture.
Watch Eureka with Professor Prashanta Sanyal, Head of Department, Earth Sciences, ISER, Kolkata, on Rajya Sabha Television.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, affectionately known as Madiba, was South Africa's first democratically elected president, an international peacemaker and statesman, and a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Through a long career as an activist, Mandela was a crusader for equal rights for South Africa's black majority. Having undergone frequent imprisonment, in 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life in jail. Charged with sabotage, treason, and violent conspiracy, he narrowly escaped the gallows. He was released in 1990, having initiated talks with South African President de Klerk towards ending apartheid in the country. Mandela was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993 for his efforts. In April 1994, the Mandela-led African National Congress won South Africa's first elections by universal suffrage. And Mandela was sworn in as president of the country's first multi-ethnic government. He retired from the presidency in 1999 and from public life in 2004. Nelson Mandela died on December 5, 2013 from a recurring lung infection.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritanshu Rai and you're watching Law of the Land.
The first claim has been given to the people who are working on that post.
Correct.
It makes actually sense to have more number of courts to deal with local specific issues.
Seafarer wages dues is also a maritime claim which has been called highest priority.
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha Television.
Raju ki Baoli, located in Mehroli, is considered the most ornamental of Baolis in the national capital. It was built by Daulat Khan during the reign of Sikandar Lodhi in 1516. Raju refers to masons who used it. The entire structure is subterranean, so only the topmost story is visible as the visitor approaches. Walk towards its steps and each lower level slowly reveals itself. The top floor has a row of arched niches. There are 3 levels going down with 66 steps. The Baoli complex has a 12-pillar tomb and a mosque with plaster decoration on it. Carved brackets support the chhajja below the parapet. There are rooms behind this arcade, meant for shade and shelter for visitors. The Baoli combines Islamic architecture with hints of Hindu engravings and geometric designs.
Welcome back. Let's get you some cricket news now. And Cheteshwar Pujara lit up Ranchi on day 3 of the 3rd test between India and Australia, hitting his 11th test century to help India seize the initiative. Murli Vijay gave him company for a 102-run second wicket partnership before heading back to pavilion after he lofted a Steve O'Keefe ball at the score of 82. Pujara, however, continued to his 100, sharing important stands with Ajinkya Rahane, Karun Nair and Riddhiman Saha, pushing India closer towards the Australian first innings total of 451. India ended the day at 360 for 6, trailing by 91 runs. Pujara was still batting 130, while Saha is at 18 not out. For Australia, Pat Cummins enjoyed a superb comeback, picking up 4 for 59, putting the brakes on India's run fest. On day 3, Cummins added the wickets of Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane and R. Ashwin.
It's quite evenly poised. It's just great Test match cricket. Our first and third sessions, I thought today were as good as I've seen an Australian play. They really, we put it to them. We put them under a lot of pressure. They absorbed it, especially Pujara, who played a fantastic innings. And in the middle session, I think they had the better of us. But it was just great Test match cricket, and it's going to be good to see how the next 2 days pan out.
We are really focused on our games, and we have a match in hand, so we got to go close to the target. And these are things running in our heads in the dressing room. And all the players are aware of it, and whatever they are doing, we take it as a sportive thing. And now there's going to be second innings, so hopefully if they can take it that way, it'll be great.
In other news, professional auto racer Ashwin Sundar and his wife Nivedita passed away after a fatal car crash in Chennai on Saturday. The couple's BMW car rammed into a roadside tree, causing the car to erupt in flames. The racing world has mourned the young driver's death. Ashwin Sundar and his wife, who was a doctor, were trapped inside the car and were unable to come out in time. Ashwin Sundar was driving the car at the time of the accident, which was caught on camera by witnesses. The news of his death has shocked the Indian motorsport fraternity, with the Federation of Motorsports Clubs of India President Akbar Ibrahim saying that it was a sad day for sports. Ashwin Sundar is a former national champion, having won the Formula 4 national title twice. He has also won the MRF Formula 1600 International Challenge competition on 2 occasions. International news now, and in the US, stark differences between President Donald Trump and German Chancellor Angela Merkel on everything from trade to immigration were in full view during an IC-first meeting at the White House yesterday. At an awkward joint press conference, Trump and Merkel showed little common ground as they addressed a host of thorny issues, including NATO, defense spending and free trade deals.
It was a meeting of top world leaders where body language spoke much louder than words. At the joint press conference, new US President Donald Trump and the long-serving stateswoman Angela Merkel, who leads Europe's largest economy, Germany, took pains to downplay differences that were hard to mask. At the end of the conference, Trump told Merkel they did have something in common: referring to being wiretapped under Barack Obama, a remark that drew a quizzical look from Merkel.
As far as wiretapping, I guess, by this past administration, at least we have something in common, perhaps.
The German Chancellor arrived at a snowy White House, hoping to reverse a chill in relations after Trump's incendiary election rhetoric, in which he often targeted her. The meeting began cordially, with the pair shaking hands at the entrance of the White House. But later, sitting side by side in the Oval Office, Merkel's suggestion of another handshake was ignored by Trump. Trump said he expected the United States to do fantastically well in trade with Germany, while Merkel said she hoped the United States and the European Union could resume discussions on a trade agreement. Trump maintained he is a proponent of free trade and is not an isolationist.
On trade with Germany, I think we're going to do fantastically well. Right now, I would say that the negotiators for Germany have done a far better job than the negotiators for the United States. But hopefully we can even it out. We don't want victory, we want fairness. All I want is fairness. Germany's done very well in its trade deals with the United States, and I give them credit for it.
Und es ist ja mehr als fair, dass beide Seiten natürlich die Verträge abschließen, einen Gewinn daraus haben wollen. Und in diesem Geiste würde ich mich freuen, wenn wir die Verhandlungen zwischen der Europäischen Union und den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika auch wieder aufnehmen könnten. Wir haben jetzt das Handelsabkommen mit Kanada abgeschlossen und ich hoffe, dass wir vielleicht auch in die Lage kommen, hier wieder die Gespräche zu eröffnen. Darüber werden wir aber noch sprechen.
Trump also praised the German Chancellor on her country's spending on defense and said they had a productive meeting. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now to France, where a man was shot dead after he grabbed a soldier's gun at Paris's Orly airport, sparking an evacuation and severe flight disruption. The suspect made the attempt at the airport's south terminal after targeting a counter-terror patrol. He fled into a nearby shop with a weapon before he was killed. No one else was injured in the incident. A bomb sweep, though, took place at the airport to make sure the dead man was not wearing an explosive belt, but nothing was found. A police officer was also injured after being shot during a routine road check in an earlier incident in north of Paris, but it's not clear yet if the two incidents were linked. Around 3,000 passengers were evacuated from the airport and flights were suspended from both the terminals. The incidents come weeks before France holds its presidential elections. The country remains on high alert following a string of terror attacks directed and inspired by Islamic State militants.
Il est tenu par le cou et en même temps il lui tenait le bras, il tenait l'arme de la militaire. D'accord. Et après, nous quand on a vu ça, bon, on a bien vu que c'était sérieux, on s'est sauvé, qu'on a descendu l'escalier et après on a entendu 2 coups de feu.
On a commencé à entendre des coups de feu. Au début on a entendu un bruit, un boom, on s'est tous regardés, on n'a pas compris ce que c'était, on s'est dit non c'est sûrement un truc qui est tombé par terre, quelque chose. Et là on a entendu encore 2, 3, 4 coups de feu jusqu'à 5 là où on s'est dit bon c'est...
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. Saudi Arabia says Iranians will participate in this year's Hajj pilgrimage to the holy cities of Makkah and Medina. No Iranian pilgrims attended the Hajj last year because of deepening tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia. The tensions have risen in recent years as they have supported opposite sides in conflicts in Syria, Yemen, Bahrain and elsewhere. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Saturday for talks amid tensions in Northeast Asia. Beijing is said to be angry at being told to rein in nuclear-armed North Korea, and Washington repeatedly demanding it to do more to control Pyongyang. Tillerson is expected to meet with President Xi Jinping on Saturday, concluding his first tour of North Asia. As many as 67 people were killed and thousands forced to evacuate after intense rains triggered Peru's worst floods in recent memory. Landslides and raging rivers swept people away, wrecked houses and highways, and destroyed crops in a potential sign of a global El Niño effect. The disaster comes after a period of severe drought, fueling criticism that the country is ill prepared for climate change. And finally, 4 pandas who are making the most of their stay at a zoo in Sichuan province in southwest China, and they were showered with attention from onlookers. Cameras caught the 4 in various playful moods. So we're leaving you now with the visuals of the pandas having fun.